Alright, hello everyone. My name is Mike, and this is my second go at recording this. I debated whether or not to tell you this and just pretend like it's my first time, but no, I had some technical issues the first time. None of my sound actually recorded, me talking that is, so I'm going to try this again. And this game is this is my first Let's Play as well. This game is called Jalopy, as you can see. I know very little about this game before, other than it involves you repairing and maintaining a like Soviet bloc era. I can't even remember now what the car is called. It's not a Lada. It's a. Oh, we'll find out in game. But anyway, without further ado, let's go ahead and get started with a new game. And let's go. Let's get this jalopy on the road. He really wants me to wake up. They will make fools of us both. I think it will anyway. Something important to show me. Well, you know, that's a big bed. Oh, hey, there's a nightstand that I can't do anything with. I didn't play with this stuff last time. That's neat. There's a door. Aw. Huh. Neat they put interactivity everywhere. Leica, that's what the car is. Leica 601 Deluxe. I remember now because I made the pun, I Leica it. An engineering legend in the GDR. I think that's, what is the GDR? Germany Democratic Republic? I don't know. I'm not up too much. And let's see here. 0 to 60 kilometers per hour in 22.5 seconds. I'm not intimately familiar with kilometers per hour conversions, but 22.5 seconds is pretty damn slow. I think 60 kilometers an hour is like 30, maybe 40 miles an hour. Top speed of 100 kilometers an hour, that's roughly 60 miles an hour. All at the economical rate of 9 kilometers per liter. That I can't really convert in my head at all. I know what a liter is, I know what a kilometer is, but whether that's good or not, I can't tell you. If we can get her running. Oh, don't worry, we have everything. We just need to build an engine, slap on some wheels, and fit the passenger-sized door, and give her a bit of a clean. Yeah. So let's get started. Fit the replacement door. Apparently squinting is right-click, which is just a zoom. And I missed it the first time, but you can see right there the handy god light telling us where the door is. Although that car looks in better shape. Why aren't we fixing up that one? This one has like... looks like it has dents everywhere. Let's go look at this one. This one looks better. Yeah, look at that. It's got straight line. This door is... okay, it's not as straight as I thought. Let's pick up... oh, it's got no floor. That's why we're not using this one. This looks about the same, actually. Now that I look at it. It's got nothing in it. Some crushed cars here, although... oh. Hey, a washing machine. Oh. More washing machines. Hey, lock me out. There's a red one. Hey, why aren't we using the red one? Red ones go faster. Nothing in the trunk. Just slap it on. No bolts, no nothing needed. Not even some glue. Let's fit the engine. So I do like the granularity of this game in that you don't just pop open the hood. You have to go... yeah, okay. He was annoying the first time I went through this trying to do it. He kept popping up instructions every time I was about to do something. So you're like, now, go away. Close the door. It's out of the way. Pop the hood. As you can see, she needs an engine. Yeah, no shit. Oh yeah, I didn't mention his trippy jacket yet. Look at that. Look at that thing. That's just breaks my mind a bit. And this whole game has a very flat aesthetic. I kind of like it. Okay, get off my nuts, man. I know I need to get the engine. Oh yeah, and also I'll pop it in the trunk. Need a flashlight. Right. Okay, so engine. Here's an engine. Stock engine, a small two-stroke engine with 2 cylinders. It's a 2-stroke 2-cylinder. I'm guessing the 601 is probably its displacement in cc's, 601. So anyone not familiar with engine specifics, a 2-stroke engine, you're probably most familiar with it in like chainsaws and leaf blowers and older dirt bikes, whereas a 4-stroke engine, which is more common in today's cars, a 2-stroke, instead of, if you're at all familiar with how an engine works, they intake air and fuel, compress it, detonate it, and that detonation drives the engine. Well, a 2-stroke combines your intake and power stroke and your compression and exhaust stroke together, whereas in a 4-stroke they're all separate. It's engine block, yeah, acceleration. Poorly kept engine block will struggle to perform. See, that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to explain some stuff and it keeps popping up. Go ahead and put it in. But anyway, it's less efficient because, not to get too technical, but there's what's called overlap, which is you're trying to exhaust your, burnt fuel and air while at the same time drawing in fresh. And just by the nature of the engine, some of the new, fresh, unburnt fuel and air is going to go out at the same time as your exhaust, or you're going to trap some exhaust in instead of having it fully evacuated. So you're either going to lose a bit on efficiency or not get as much intake charge in at the, as you would in a 4-stroke. That's why they're pollute more and they're out of favor. You can also pick up 3 things at a time. And I'll talk about them as put them on. I can also swap them. So this is the carburetor. It's what does your air-fuel mixture. Yep. Well, he says it does control the fuel consumption. Controls how many kilometers per liter you'll get out of your Leica. Yep. It will use less fuel if it's tuned properly, but there's a lot more to it than that. Let's hear. Where'd it go? Oh, I'm not seeing the thing. Maybe I have to put the air cleaner in first. Yeah. He says it's not essential, and he'll tell you isn't necessarily required, but it's a good idea. It reduces the rate of wear on your engine block because, dirt doesn't get in. Okay, I'm not seeing. Okay, now it shows me the place to put the carburetor. So, plus 25 kilograms to weight, 25 for kilometers per liter. Okay, step off my... Plus 10% or 10% reduction in engine wear rate. This tutorial needs to be toned back a bit. He really gets annoying in the battery. So we got the ignition coil. Yeah. Well, he's not exactly right there. It's not... The ignition coil doesn't just start the engine. The ignition coil takes your 12 volts... Alright, go away. Go away. Stop talking. I'm trying to lay knowledge on these people. So the ignition coil, it just keeps saying start the engine, but it's always used, not just in starting, but it takes the 12 volts. I'm guessing a Leica's a 12 volt system. Older cars, like from the 50s and earlier, had a 6 volt electrical system. But modern cars up through the 60s to present use a 12 volt, and it takes that 12 volt electrical from your battery, which, yes, I know that's the battery. It's also needed for starting. Yes. Where does it go? It goes back here, maybe? Doesn't really show me where it goes. I guess because I had the other thing selected first. It seems to go in order in what you pick up. I wonder if I drop it. Okay, yeah. So, in order what you pick up, even if you swap, it won't show you where to go. I guess in the tutorial. Maybe it changes in-game. But the battery... Oh, it's a 12 volt battery, automotive battery. So it takes that, the ignition coil takes the 12 volts from your battery and amps it up to, I don't know how many thousands of volts that's used to drive your spark plugs. Yes, I know. So this is the water tank. Apparently it's a, for your washer fluid, because your windows will get dirty. But the ignition coil allows the engine to run. It basically produces the high voltage your spark plugs need to ignite your fuel and air mixture. So there's a... oh yeah, there's the fuel tank. Interestingly, the Leica has a under-hood fuel tank, because it's a... He'll tell you, it's a gravity-fed system. It's gravity fed, so it just sits on top of the engine. And yeah, it's a two strokes. So there are some two strokes that have their own internal engine oil. In fact, there are some modern two strokes, and they're not a premix system. But older two strokes in this car too uses a fuel oil mixture, because it doesn't have internal oil. It doesn't keep the oil in the engine. The oil in the fuel actually lubricates the engine as it's being burned. That's also a reason why two strokes are more polluting, because they burn the oil at the same time. So yeah, you don't have the right oil fuel mix, also called premix, because you pre-mix them together. There are some post-mix systems. Some engines had a separate oil tank, and even though they didn't have the oil in the engine, they would combine oil and fuel into the engine at the same time. They were kind of rare, though. I think they mostly were seen on two-stroke street bikes. Put the fuel in. Yeah, we need fuel. So, oh yeah, they're up here. Not oil, gas, oil, and water. I think in this tutorial it's all set up to where you don't have to think about your mixes. It has just enough to get you going. You'll see later that we have to actually worry about the mixture. So that's 10 liters of fuel. The two-stroke. Leaner mixture, faster car, increase wear to engine. Yeah, it doesn't let me add more. It doesn't even show me the mixture, which is kind of a failing. It should have at least showed me what the mixture was, just so I know that's what it's going to look like. And of course, water for the washer system. drop it when we're done. Oh yeah, we need tires. Yeah, see, there's no tires. It's up on blocks. Alright, so over in the garage, yeah, you can see we couldn't get in those cabinets beforehand. I'm glad I can hold more than one thing at a time. Put the jack under the car. Raise it up. And this is annoying. He won't let me go. So yeah, and you can't just highlight the wheel. You have to actually highlight the lug bolt. Unlike modern cars, except BMWs and Volkswagens, and probably maybe some things under the VW banner, Audis as well, they use, instead of lug nuts like most American and Japanese and other cars, they use a lug stud, which is basically, or a lug bolt, which is actually just a long bolt. They're harder to get aligned on the cars, I find. I used to work in automotive, but they're just different. And here, just whack it on. So you can pick it up and actually use the number keys to change the order you have them in your hands, and whack it on. And lower the jack. Pick up the jack. And go to the other side. See, I wish I could hold more than a few things at a time, but he won't let me do anything till I actually drop the lug wrench and go get more tires. We'll be glad when I can ditch this guy and actually do it on my own. Alright. One thing I will note is if you've ever changed your, or if you ever need to change your tires, usually what you'll do in real life is you'll use the wrench and you'll actually loosen them first while it's still on the ground. Then you'll want to raise it up and then continue taking them off. And then when you're done, or in this case putting them on for the first time, you would tighten them up as tight as you can. But on most wheels, sometimes your drive axles will have enough resistance to where the wheel won't turn, but it'll be hard to get enough leverage. So you'll get the your lug nuts or bolts on as tight as you can, and then you will lower the car and finish tightening them up. Usually what I'll do is I'll put that wrench on there and actually use my foot to tighten it up, get it good and tight. Now we don't have to worry about them loosening up while you're driving. Just a little automotive tip. So like I said, I said it in the other video, so I might say things that are references to the other ones that I recorded. But I used to work in automotive, both minor mechanical and oil change. I did worked for a while as even an oil change manager in a shop. So I'm fairly experienced. I'm not like an expert or anything, but I am fairly experienced. The road tire from the garage. Okay, everything in there. The road tire. What's he talking about? There's nothing left in the garage. I think he's stuck. Okay. Maintenance manual. Yeah, this is early access, so he's a little stuck on that road tire bit. Hopefully I can hit a flag that'll turn that off. Oh God, please don't keep saying that. I broke the game again. And drop that. Oh man. Okay, where's the map? It's the map. It's the map. We're looking at the flipping map. So we're going to the... So we're in Berlin right now. So we're going to Dresden. So the backdrop of this game is just after the Berlin Wall fell, circa around 1990. And we're going to be making the border crossing. So, I'm guessing that we're still in the what was the communist or the communist section of Germany. I'm not intimately familiar with the you know, I was around when the Berlin Wall fell. I remember it on the TV, but I just don't know the intricacies of how the integration went. So I'm really hopeful that this does show a little bit of that. I keep talking about the tire. So finally the keys. My keys to freedom. Alright, close the door. Put the keys in. Start her up. Alright, so we're started. Even got window winders. Oh wow. It gets louder. Quieter. Okay, let's see here. Do I need lights? I might as well turn the lights on. Oh, the lights are flickery. Oh, windshield wipers. That's the washer hazards. Wait a minute. I thought that was hazards. See, they have the same symbol. Oh yeah, we'll come to that stuff later. Okay, I'll tell you now. One of my first playthroughs, I had a problem. That's your wallet. You don't have the wallet on you. No, you have to come out to the car every time you need your wallet. So I've spent ages trying to figure out how to pay for something. In fact, I had to restart the game. Oh, some radio. Let's get some tunes going. Too loud. Maybe we'll see if we can fix that later. Alright, without further ado, let's get going.